Welcome to the weekly EdTech analysis from Webhostville Services. Our mission is simple: to align technical infrastructure, pedagogical excellence, and institutional strategy for African education. We don't just track the news, we interpret it through the Webhostville 4-pillar AI Readiness Framework. Let's cut through the noise and look at what today's developments mean for your institution.
Right, here is our roadmap for today's briefing. We'll look at infrastructure as our secure engine room, data governance moving beyond the black box, human capacity through the lens of the teacher-architect, strategic alignment using the SDG4 litmus test, and finally, we'll synthesize it all to address the unspoken truth of institutional agency. Let's get straight to it.
So, let's start with the executive summary. We've actually seen a rather monumental shift this week. Nigeria has officially secured the top rank in Africa on the Global Index on Responsible AI, or the GRAI. Now, jumping 42 places from its inaugural score to sit at 30th globally, that's an extraordinary leap. It really is. It's a clear reflection of some aggressive national capacity building and very deliberate ethical alignment within the digital economy. But what does this actually mean for you? Well, it illustrates that Nigerian educational institutions are now operating within an increasingly mature national regulatory environment. The primary opportunity, and frankly the urgent mandate here, is for institutional leaders to leverage this momentum. You need to aggressively audit your own internal digital compliance because the grace period for uncoordinated technology adoption, well, that's effectively ended. To really understand the strategic catalyst behind this momentum, we need to examine the recent directive from the Federal Ministry of Communications, Innovation, and Digital Economy. Led by Dr. Bossen Tijani, this mandate effectively puts a stop to the overlapping regulations that previously saw institutions caught in a sort of tug-of-war between differing agency guidelines. As institutional leaders, you must leverage the shift. We're moving from fragmented tech adoption toward unified regulatory alignment driven by the FMCID, NITDA, the NUC, and TED Fund. This move is specifically designed to eliminate compliance friction. It's setting firm legal boundaries for how your institutions handle cloud deployments, manage student data, and procure third-party EdTech integrations moving forward.
Moving into our framework, Pillar 1, Infrastructure, the secure engine room.
I want you to consider the immense risk of what we call shadow AI. This happens when staff or faculty bypass the IT department entirely to use unsanctioned, unvetted generative AI tools for their academic or administrative workflows. Just imagine a lecturer using a free public AI app to grade student essays. They are unknowingly uploading highly sensitive intellectual property and student data straight to a foreign server. That is the harsh reality of a fragmented tech stack. It causes immense compliance friction and, frankly, exposes your institution to devastating data breaches. So, the systems analysis here is crystal clear. Institutions absolutely must abandon shadow IT immediately. Centralizing your operations within secure, sovereign cloud environments, like managed cloud solutions and Google Workspace for Education, are no longer just operational choices. They're absolute strategic necessities. They guarantee data sovereignty, protect your institutional IP, and bring your infrastructure directly in line with those harmonized national regulations we just talked about.
Right, let's move to Pillar 2, Data Governance, moving beyond the black box.
You see, Nigeria's top-tier ranking in responsible AI validates the absolute necessity of this pillar, which is anchored firmly by the FATE principles. That stands for fairness, accountability, transparency, and explainability. Educational networks must actively eliminate opaque administrative algorithms. We simply cannot have automated academic workflows, whether we're talking about early warning systems for student dropouts, admissions sorting, or automated grading, operating as impenetrable black boxes where decisions can't be audited or explained to a student. Think about it. If a system flags a learner for academic probation, you must be able to explain precisely why. It's that simple. Enforcing strict, uncompromising adherence to these FATE principles across every single department is exactly how you maintain NDPA 2023 compliance, mitigate algorithmic bias, and most importantly, secure the trust of your students and stakeholders.
Which brings us to Pillar 3, Human Capacity, the Teacher-Architect. The Federal Ministry of Education's recent nationwide regional workshops under the EIBIC framework are really forcing a crucial pedagogical evolution. We have to intentionally transition our educators through a structured journey here. We're moving away from step 1, where educators operate merely as passive content conveyors, just reading off a syllabus. We need to guide them through step 2, mastering comprehensive AI fluency and strict ethical gatekeeping, ensuring they actually understand the limitations and biases of the tools they're deploying. And ultimately, we must help them reach step 3, becoming true teacher architects. Operating alongside agencies like the NUC and TED Fund, this initiative demands that our educators become active designers of AI-mediated learning environments. A teacher architect doesn't just deliver information, you see. They drive commercialization intelligence, seamlessly aligning rigorous academic research with the immediate practical demands of the global digital economy.
And on to our final framework pillar, strategic alignment, the SDG4 litmus test.
Now, we absolutely must contextualize our national momentum within the broader continental picture. Recent major initiatives across Africa map directly to measurable, non-negotiable metrics. For instance, in Malawi, the Third Africa Foundational Learning Exchange, or FLEX 2026, proved that policy is essentially meaningless unless it translates into measurable literacy and numeracy outcomes. We're also seeing UNESCO driving municipal AI frameworks to create inclusive, lifelong learning pathways. Furthermore, the African Union's Innovating Education Expo over in Addis Ababa stressed the urgent need to scale homegrown, sovereign EdTech tools, rather than just perpetually renting our educational infrastructure from foreign platforms. Therefore, the takeaway here is that every digital transformation investment your institution makes must pass the SDG4 litmus test. We have to use hard, empirical data to track student learning poverty and deploy systems that effectively close regional educational divides. If a technology investment doesn't demonstrably improve learning outcomes, quite simply, it is a failed investment.
Finally, our synthesis, the unspoken institutional truth.
We all see the celebratory data, don't we? We see the rising global rankings and the bold continental expos mapping out our digital future. But a proper systems-level analysis forces us to challenge this optimism by asking one rather hard, critical question. Where exactly is the institutional agency in all of this?
There is a critical missing metric in these glowing national reports, and it's the profound gap between high-level policy mandates issued in capital cities and the harsh, everyday reality of grassroots implementation. This is the unspoken truth that institutional leaders really must internalize. Policy frameworks mean absolutely nothing without agency. Celebrating a 42-place jump in global regulatory rankings completely ignores the acute resource constraints faced daily by educators on the ground. It ignores the severe lack of digital literacy diagnostics in under-resourced basic education sectors and the crippling infrastructure deficits, like basic broadband and reliable power, facing peripheral and rural campuses. National mandates simply cannot mask these realities. True transformation? Well, that requires localized backing, bespoke architectural planning, and robust continuous support for the school administrators who are actually doing the vital work of educating the next generation.
Ultimately, we must ask ourselves, will we allow top-tier global rankings to make us complacent, or will we use them as the critical catalyst to finally bridge the gap between high-level policy and real, classroom-level transformation? Navigating the shift toward institutional agency while aligning internal systems with national mandates is a complex journey. At Webhostville Services, we simplify this process, ensuring your technology infrastructure, data governance, and human capacity development work in harmony. If you're evaluating your roadmap or wish to discuss the practical application of the Webhostville 4-pillar AI Readiness Framework within your context, I invite you to reach out to us at Webhostville Services. Let's explore how strategic alignment can better serve your learners. Thank you for your commitment to excellence in African education.